It's Ryan Ham here, and I've got a few updates for you. A while back, I did a video saying that you can make a fixed base or fixed barrel spacer out of copper couplings. And while that is true, I felt that aluminum and steel would be a little more appropriate. So what I've done here is I've got an assortment of items I've been working on lately. It's a 1/2 by 28 piston, a piston that is, if it will ever focus, there you go, 0.578 by 28 V2, I guess version 2. I guess they had an older version. For my SilencerCo Octane suppressor, also works on the Osprey. It takes the same system, the same attachment system, so it should work just fine. What you do is you replace the spring with a spacer of some sort so that the piston no longer works. If you want to know more, you can reference my previous video, but as you see here, I had a couple of couplings that I never ended up cutting down. This is the proper length that I've cut down from aluminum tubing. I never ended up cutting these down, mostly because I wanted to use aluminum and steel. I thought they'd be more robust, so we'll move those out of the way. So what I ended up doing is I ended up getting a piece of tubing, and what I'll do is zero this out and show you the diameter of the tubing is nominally 0.875. And I forgot what the wall thickness was, but you can see it's 3/4 of an inch on the inside. Magically, that correlates just fine to the outside diameter of the piston. And so what you end up with is a spacer that slips right over and acts, instead of the spring, acts to disable instead of enable the spring on the piston. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and install it here, and we'll see how all that works. See if I got all the dimensions right and everything. I had a friend who has a lathe, a little manual lathe, and he did the work for me and got it within 3 or 4 thousandths. So awesome. So what you do is you slip the spacer over the piston. I'm going to use the 1/2 by 28 piston that I happen to have, 1/2 by 28, and then you slip that over, and you can see it it sticks out just about as much as it normally would if there were a piston on there, and it looks pretty nice if I do say so myself. And what that'll do is that will keep the gas from going out and filling the notches that the front of the piston here fills on the suppressor. So the notches I'm talking about are, by the way, this suppressor is not loaded. You can see there's notches down inside of that. Get something that's a little more, there you go. There's notches down in the bottom of that around the outside, and those notches can fill up with fouling, whether it be lead is the big one. That's the hard one to get out, or carbon, or even copper fouling will fill those little notches, and it'll keep the piston from working fine. So if you have if you install the fixed barrel spacer here that I have made, then what happens is it see that was the teeth engaging on the front, and then I'm going against the resistance on the O-ring here. So when I tighten it down that last little bit, you could hear there's nothing moving in there. So it looks like I got the measurement right, and you can see there's just a little bit gap, which means I'm not quite bottomed out, and that's the way I want it. If I bottom out, it's possible that spacer will move, and I don't want the spacer to move. I'm within about 5 or 10 thousandths of bottoming out. I cut it with really good precision. Now, SilencerCo sells that part, but it costs upwards of $40, and the tubing was like 12 bucks. And I can make a bunch of them. I made 2. I actually made a couple more, but I didn't have a chance. My buddy had to go, so I didn't have a chance to finish these off, so these aren't cut all the way to length. And if you can see on the front there, he's He's squared them off pretty good. Squared them off on a lathe, deburred and everything like that, so they fit down inside pretty well. As you saw, they're the exact right length, and when I screw these on a fixed barrel rifle, like I do have a 1022 that I showed in another video with a threaded barrel, then the piston won't move the suppressor and it'll work just fine. So I am not done. I'll do a shooting video later on, but I also have a piece of steel here that I bought from Amazon. They actually Amazon Metals or something like that I'm also planning on cutting off, and the dimensions aren't identical on it, but 0.872, and I think the inside dimension is going to be 0.77, so it's going to have a little bit of play, and I'll demonstrate that. It's got a little more play than the aluminum did. I think the aluminum worked just fine, but I wanted to try steel just in case I was ordering the metal anyways, and it was fairly cheap. It was like 12 bucks, so I might as well. Essentially it's free shipping, and you only waste a little bit of money, and you've got a good billy club if if you don't end up using it on your suppressor. So there we are, and you can buy that part for $40 from SilencerCo, or you could spend $15-20 worth of machining time, buy the buy the part or buy the raw material. Make sure you measure everything out right, and if you shoot it and it breaks, then you're out SilencerCo's excellent service and warranty. But I'm only shooting it through 22, so I think I should be just fine. And if I do have any problems, I'll go ahead and order the SilencerCo part. Their service is wonderful. It's Ryan Ham. If you enjoyed this video, if it was informative, please like, favorite, subscribe, share, comment, whatever you'd like to do. It's up to you. Again, it's Ryan Ham. Bye.